Hello, I'm Adam Teitelbaum, and welcome to this week's discussion about Parshat Vayetzei. We meet Yaakov after he had just taken the birthright and the blessing from his brother Esau. He ran away from the threat of being killed to go to his uncle's home for safe haven. On the journey, he has a dream. He has the famous stairway to heaven, Jacob's ladder dream, where God reaffirms for him the covenant and the protection that he has promised Abraham, Isaac, and now to him, Yaakov. So Yaakov continues the journey and he goes in and he sees some shepherds and he says, "Hey, I'm looking for this guy Lavan. Do you know Lavan?" They go, "Yeah, actually, that's his daughter over there." And here's this incredible meet cute moment where Yaakov sees Rachel coming through the field and fireworks, immediate love at first sight. And it seems to be that it's actually a very mutual feeling. Here, the text says, in English, first it says, Jacob went up and rolled the stone off the mouth of the well and watered the flock for his uncle Lavan. Quick side note, he wasn't supposed to be watering at that moment, but it seems like an overtly romantic gesture to impress Rachel. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and broke into tears. The reason that they broke into tears is because it actually was a love that couldn't happen. Because, as we'll find out in a moment, Rachel was the younger of the daughters, not the older. She wasn't going to be able to marry him first until her older sister Leah was married off. But Vayaged Yaakov lerachel ki achi aviha v'chi ben Rivka hu v'taretz v'tager la'aviha. Jacob, with this confident swagger that he just got from receiving the blessing and the reaffirmation from God, says to Rachel, "Don't worry about it. I'm your father's brother. Ki achi aviha hu. Not I'm your father's nephew or some other connection, or he's my uncle." He levels up. So this is an interesting moment that shows a little bit of an opening for Yaakov as he's filled with this new swagger of, it's not really who he was on his insides and his kishkas, trying to do something big and romantic, but also powerful. And it begins to open up the opportunity for Lavan to take advantage of him. And we know who Lavan is because we met Lavan a couple stories ago. It's Rivka's brother. So when Eliezer went to go find a suitable wife for Yitzchak, that's when he met Lavan, and Lavan knew just how rich and powerful and influential this family pedigree is. And so now Lavan knows who Yaakov is, even if Yaakov doesn't quite understand who Lavan is. And so then Lavan takes advantage of Yaakov over and over again. First, by swindling him into marrying Leah instead of Rachel, staying 7 more years to marry Rachel. Then, upon trying to leave, he says, "You owe me more debts." And again, Yaakov tries again and again and again to try and please Lavan, not realizing just quite how taken advantage he is. This Parsha, to me, is a very important story arc in Yaakov's life. It's a coming of age tale. It's the part where he really develops the years of political and business savvy to embody and really become the leader that he's going to be as the continued father of the Jewish people, and as the patriarch that he is, because we are the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I think that this parsha is critical in his character arc. And then we see this come to fruition in chapter 31. There's this line in chapter 31 where finally, after working off this additional debt, that Jacob's eyes are opened. And it says, Vayireh Yaakov et pnei Lavan. He saw Lavan's face. He really understood who Lavan is. And with that moment, with that final clarity, God, Hashem, is able to reveal himself again and tell Yaakov, now's the moment to go. The next pasuk, Vayomer Hashem el Yaakov, Shuv el aretz avotecha ul modetecha ve'ehyeh imcha. God says, go now. I'm with you. I'm going to protect you. Parenthetically, I've always been with you, but now I'm really going to protect you as you take your family back home to Canaan, to the land that you're going to inherit, to plant roots there. But Hashem didn't reveal himself. He couldn't have revealed himself in any of the previous 20 years because Yaakov didn't yet see with his own clarity who Lavan is and the situation and the circumstance that he was in. I learned something fascinating earlier this week, this idea in psychology in particular, that your gaze indicates your intentions. Where you're looking, what you're aiming for, that is what is on the inside that you're truly trying to achieve. Yaakov was always looking up. The story of the ladder, of the stairway to heaven, indicates that he's always yearning to this godliness, to this connection. He wasn't concerned just with the ephemeral or the mundane riches of earthly pleasures. He wanted to be connected to God. And when Lavan was taking advantage of him, he wanted to see the godliness in Lavan. He wanted to see the good side of it. And he just thought, if I keep working at it, I'm going to achieve the things that I want. But it's not until he sees with clarity where Lavan's gaze is that he's able to stand up for himself and his family, leave under the cover of darkness, because that's what he needed to do to get out of there. He did what he needed to do to protect his family. And when Lavan catches up with them and confronts him, now he has the conviction to stand on 2 feet and say, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me anymore. I've paid my debts. We're going. And granted, Hashem did tell Lavan, don't you dare hurt Yaakov. I'm protecting him. It is through this moment where Yaakov really stands on his own 2 feet that Lavan finally relents and he goes home and Yaakov and the family go on their way to Canaan. This is the moment. It was this Parsha. It was these toils that Yaakov had to go through to go from the swagger-filled kid who just inherited this powerful blessing and covenant to work through how to do so in a savvy way that next week becomes Israel. And with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.